Hello there, and welcome to the Moaning Show. My name is HUD01, and you're watching a magnificent Monavision presentation of episode number 75, all about my personal 2019. I've been promising this video for several months, and unfortunately I've had to wait until today. The day of recording this is the 1st of January 2020. I've got a lot to moan, bitch and complain about my own personal 2019. And a lot of it, unfortunately, is to do with money. Money is a driving force behind a tremendous amount of disappointment and difficulty from a personal standpoint, and the main reason for my complaints and things like that are a lot to do with money. Now, usually on the Moaning Show, specifically in the last month, 6 weeks or so, I've asked questions, 3 questions a video, just to get my points across. Again, like last week's Christmas one, or whenever you watched it, I'm again going to break with tradition. It means less editing for me on a personal standpoint. So I'm just going to, let you know about my the events that have led up to the worst year in my life. So obviously this time last year, we went through the so-called Happy New Year of 2019. Now, be that as it may, when you haven't got a lot to look forward to, you don't do a lot. You don't tend to go out a tremendous amount, which I still don't. Which is something I hope to rectify in 2020. But the issue, the thing about 2019 was it was supposed to be the year that everything changed, and changed for the better. Now, I'll just take you through my year and then moan, bitch and complain about the resulting occurrences, things like that. So I was looking forward to 2019, and the main reason for that was my parents had got a loan out. This all stems from us moving to Devon in 2002, in August of 2002, and as a family, us buying a caravan at Devon Cliffs, Sandy Bay, with Haven Holidays. Now, thanks to my mum's health beginning to deteriorate, and the mere fact that my father couldn't sleep at night due to the clubs in and around the holiday park, blasting out, the obvious club music that you get in these establishments, with the constant beat, we had to move out. So we sold back the caravan about a year after we bought it, and we sold it back for something like a £20,000 loss, which wasn't a great decision. But again, hindsight being 2020, like it is today, obviously we wouldn't have done that. So already we're in shit street. Mum's health began to deteriorate, and through like hospital stays or MRSA and things like that, she had to have a leg amputated. Now, while she was convalescing in a location in Exmouth that deals with this. It specialised in people recovering from injuries, or people adjusting to life without a limb. Now, that's you take that and you deal with it. So she got out of there fairly quickly, obviously because she wanted to, and we were renting from holiday lets. We were in this one place in Exmouth for quite a long time. I think it was about 8 months. Now, we were under the impression, obviously with it being a holiday home, that you were going to get other people wanting to use that holiday home as a holiday. We wanted to use it as a home, and for about 8 months we were able to. But along came the time where the next people were using it, as a holiday home, and by that time Mum needed another operation to remove the other leg. Long story short, she's in this recuperation place in Exmouth, and me and my father and the dog at the time had to move between holiday lets 5 or 6 times in about, 3 months, which ate up all of the savings and that we had earned from selling back the caravan. So long story short, which I apologise for, all of this crap that stems to 2019 began in 2002 to 2004. Now, so that's why we had this loan over our heads. This bank loan was going to end in March, I think it was, or February, something like that. So I was really looking forward to some financial independence about this time last year. So, but I also started to exercise because I wanted to lose some weight, and I really wanted to. It was one of my goals for 2019, and it's the horrible thing for me personally is the simple fact of, had things gone the way that I would have preferred them to go, I wouldn't be doing this particular Moaning Show, and if things had gone my way, I might not be doing any Moaning Shows. If things had gone a bit better, if you see what I mean. So, despite the amount of snacks left over from Christmas and things like that, because you always have snacks left over from Christmas. You always buy too much as a family, and we were no exception. So I thought I'd take things steady with my exercising, because I don't believe in gyms. I don't personally think that it's pointless someone of my size going to a gym, because I personally think gyms, gym trainers, personal trainers are, glorified bullies. I just think that you should be doing this. Fuck off, should I be doing that? I know what I need to do. It's having the motivation to do it. Anyway, so I started to exercise, and I even did some at work, using it in my capacity as a care assistant, making it an activity to do with the people that I support. Now, all of a sudden, and this isn't a joke that I'm just about to say, all of a sudden I start to get a pain in my arse. I start to have a pain in the arse. So I just figure it's, because I'm using muscles that I haven't used in bloody years, having a bit more exercising, going on. So I think nothing of it. I just think, well, I'll just, get through that. Just wait a few days for the pain to subside. I might have taken a couple of paracetamol. So at this point, it's I don't know, it's mid to late January, and as the days go by, the pain isn't going away, so I'm continuing to exercise. All I'm doing really is dancing on the spot, jigging on the spot, basically like I'm doing now. And the pain's not going away. So by this time we're we're late January, early February, and the pain's not going away. So I consult. I tell my dad about it. I say, look, this pain in my bum isn't going away, and it's all fucking disgusting and horrible. The feeling. And the worst thing is, it's beginning to make me sweat, even when I'm just sitting down. So basically, when I'm sitting down, I'm trying to keep the pressure off my left buttock, which is basically where this pain is most prominent. So eventually, I consult a colleague of mine at work who has ties to St John's Ambulance. So she would know a little bit about how people are in pain or got an injury or things like that. So by this time, it's early to mid-February. So basically, I've had this pain about a month. And she says, well, have a think about it. And because she thought it was sciatica. Now, from what I understand, sciatica is a pain that you get when you might leave a window open or something like that, or trapped nerve is basically what she said it could be. So anyway, I do a couple of long shifts at work on the Thursday and Friday, and that was the 14th and 15th of February. On the 16th of February, I'm in that much pain, I'm sweating through pain. I've decided I've had enough, so I've got the day off. My dad's gone to work, and on Saturday the 16th of February, I decide to phone NHS 111 for a bit of assistance, for a bit of true assistance. So I describe my issues. I've got a pain in the backside, on the left buttock, blah, 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 blah. So the person on the other end says, hang on a minute, and puts me on hold. They come back to me about 30 to 40 seconds later, and I get asked if I can make it to the big hospital in the area, which is Royal Devon and Exeter Hospital, which is about a 40-minute drive away. So I said, they said, can you make it there for 6 p.m? Or 7 p.m, something like that. I said, well, I'm going to have to. I'm in that much pain. I cannot not go, if you see what I mean. So I contact my dad. He's at work and he can't get off work. Thankfully, the neighbours, because I've asked them after he's said I can't get off work, so they've taken me at the required time. So I'm in hospital and I'm even struggling to walk with the pain that I've got. So basically, I get in a chair and the neighbour's kid is literally pushing me in this wheelchair to where I need to go. So I get seen, and so they keep me in for observation, and I'm thinking, well, that's fine. And there's one of these arseholes in the ward that I get taken to. I'm in a ward within 20 minutes, which is really quite something. So this is how serious this is. I don't know how serious this is at the moment, at this specific moment in time. Same day, 16th of February, and one of these arseholes across the ward is shouting, "Nurse! Nurse!" And I'm texting my dad on my phone to say I'm not going to get any sleep tonight. They're keeping me in for observation, blah, 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 blah. So I've got my phone, I'm texting my dad, and I'm keeping him in the loop. Okay? So I'm texting him. I've got one of these arseholes that won't use the buzzer, because all you got to do, let's just say this is my buzzer, this is my phone, all right? Crap as it is. You have that big fucking button, the orange button on it, that says, that's got a picture of a nurse on it. And that's how you get a nurse's attention. Not by shouting out, fucking nurse, nurse, fuck off, for a start. So I knew I wasn't going to have a good night. So I said they're going to run some tests. They're going to obviously keep me in for observation, see how I am. So they decide about an hour later that they're going to take me for what I think is a CT scan, a big circular fucking machine where they can obviously take an image or whatever the fuck they do. And I'm in that much pain by the time I get to this machine that I cannot move. So it's taken the two bed gurneys or whatever the fuck they are, porters, that's the word, and the two people taking the machines to help me get up. I can lift somewhat, and they put me on this fucking electronic slab type thing, and I go through this machine only just because of the size of me. I'm round. So I go through this fucking machine, and there is. I'm in that much, but they said try and endure the pain as much as you can. They give me some paracetamol or whatever. So I go through this machine, and after I go through this machine, I don't remember much. Now either they've sedated me or whatever. So and I was pretty out of it anyway. I was in quite a bit of pain. So either they've put me to, they've sedated me to help me out with the pain and things like that. So that's the story of that. But that particular night. So I wake up the following morning, and all of a sudden I get given the phone. I'm in a completely different place. It looks like a reception ward, to be honest. And so I get given a phone, because I hear my name mentioned. I mean, my bed is like there, and the little cubicle office that's reception thing is there. So I get given this phone, and my dad's on the other end. I said, he says, "You all right?" I said, yeah, I'm absolutely fine. Why? He goes, "You're a bastard." I went, "What? Why? What?" Turns out that I've been in a coma for 12 days. Probably a medically induced coma for 12 days. I have had life-saving surgery about 6 times where they've done what they need to. It turns out that I have had a massive infection and sepsis, and I have not lived for 12 days. I have had tubes and wires going in every possible hole. I've had oxygen, I've had all sorts of shit, antibiotics, all that sort of crap. And so basically I've looked like Neo in the Matrix, where he wakes up in the machine world and he's got fucking wires all over the fucking place. Yeah, so it turns out that I've been in a coma for 12 days. My father was told by a surgeon or doctor of whoever was looking after me, you need to prepare for the worst. So basically, I nearly died. Let that sink in for a moment. I nearly left this plane of existence. Now, I have some bad news for everyone watching who is religious, is more to the liking of believing in a deity or an afterlife. I was out cold, unconscious, whatever you want to call it, for the best part of 2 weeks. I did not dream once. I saw no light. I saw no bright plane of existence. I saw no anything. No one was talking to me. I didn't see my mum, who died in 2013. I didn't see anything. I woke up what I thought was the following day. it was 12 days later I woke up that I started to, I must have started fighting it 11 days later. Because there was a time I was visited by colleagues and family members alike, obviously my dad. But I was almost gone. And 12 days later, I woke up, I was speaking to Dad, and I remember it relatively well, considering how I was at that time. How relieved I could hear my dad's voice, for obvious reasons, I mean, he could have lost fucking everything. But that's just the first bit of it, first bit of my 2019. So I'm in hospital, I'm been taken to a specific ward, and I'm going down once a week for operations, further operations, to literally remove the infection from my body. Apparently that's what was going on when I was unconscious, specifically the first couple of days. They were literally scooping out the physical infection from my buttock cheek. And to do this, they took out, just pretend this is me, my legs obviously, they cut open from the front left of my groin right through to the underside of my left buttock. Obviously I will have that scar for the rest of my life. So they did all of that, opened me up, did what they had to do, saved me life. To do all of that, they also removed my left testicle. Now I know what you're thinking, bollocks. My left testicle was placed in my left thigh. You try saying that fast. And is still there to this day. But at the time when I woke up and I overheard doctors talking like a week or two later, I thought I was part of a very unfortunate and very exclusive club with a certain dictator from 1939 to 1945. Luckily, I still own two. I wasn't aware at that time. Anyway, so all of this is, paramount. I've been awake a couple of days, and then obviously I'm getting daily doctor visits. So I'm on this ward, and things are bits and bobs. And so I'm in bed, and I'm basically bedridden. I cannot move. I can't even sit up without assistance. So I've been awake for about a week, and immediately, I'm getting visits every other day from Dad, because it's a long way to come from Axminster to Exeter. It's a 30-mile drive, a 40-minute drive, and obviously he's got work as well. So immediately our thoughts turn to money, because I'm basically incapacitated. I can't move, I can't sit up, and with the help of the bed, obviously, you got the bed, you got the three bits of the bed, you got the middle bit and the feet bit, the head bit. I'm raised up like that so I can sit, and I have immense difficulty basically doing everything. I can feed myself, that's about it. So our thoughts turn to money, me and my dad. So luckily I earn money in January and about 2 weeks in February. Now, with all that being said, this loan is going to finish in February/March, the one that I mentioned earlier. Now, the funny thing is, I had no idea how long, my recuperation was. So basically, when one of the more friendlier doctors came round, I said, so when can I expect to get out of here? And literally his face kind of turned into half smile half grimace. And he said, well, unfortunately, Mr. Adams, you're not going to be getting out of here anytime soon. And that's when my heart sank. Obviously, no one likes being in hospital. It's an ongoing thing, isn't it? No one likes being in hospital. But immediately I thought, oh, for fuck's sake, and it just goes to show that when luck isn't on your side, you have to take things into account. You have to think, well, blah, 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 blah. How can this get any worse? So I was thinking about how much worse this could get, and already I was panicking about money. And the last thing you need when you're ill or recuperating or convalescing from anything is worrying. And obviously worrying was all that I could do. So I was in hospital for a grand total of 6.5 weeks. So we are talking April the 4th is when I came home. And I get told, basically, I'm not going back to work to earn any money whatsoever until, well, for a good 3 or 4 months. Now, I'm gaining statutory sick pay. And this is what I'm coming to. I know this has been a long moaning show, and basically it's me telling you about my year, but this is what I'm trying to moan at. I was on statutory sick pay only. I A, nearly died, B, physically I couldn't do anything, and each day obviously I was getting that teensy bit stronger. So in other words, so like 0.2% stronger each day, or whatever, however it worked out. I didn't get back to work until late September. Now, ironically, that's the time when I joined my workforce, my company. But my company that I work for does not pay any sick pay whatsoever. Now, I can understand that from a certain standpoint, and for illness that lasts a couple of days, or really bad illness, not bad illness, but so like the flu, and you don't go to work for a couple of weeks. But I was out from February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. I was out for 7.5 months. Now, I wouldn't have minded a bit of help from the company that I work for as far as money is concerned. When your father is working full-time and you earn statutory sick pay every month for that time period, that's £400 a month. How, I ask each and every person watching, how you can exist on a grand total of £1,600 a month, with all of the bills and all of the other shit as well. How can you survive on that? I was earning £400 a month on statutory sick pay, which is a sick pay that you get from the government, I think, something like that, or that your employer has to pay you as a bare minimum. Now, I, for one, would have appreciated a bit more financial help. I couldn't earn a single penny. I couldn't go out and do the things that I usually do at work that I'm doing right now at the time of recording. So I'm getting daily visits from a district nurse, or community nurse as they're now called, changing the dressing on my groin area, and on my buttock. Within a couple of months, the wound on my buttock is basically healed, and is doing nicely even to this day. The wound on the groin is the one that they're more concerned with, and for good reason. This thing is spurting out horrible brown stuff, and unfortunately it spurts out blood. Again, even more unfortunately, even to this day of recording. Now they say it's down to sugar content and all that sort of stuff, and all of this stems from diabetes, which I'm now confirmed as being a sufferer from. It runs in the family, specifically my mother's side, but apparently that's the main cause of all of this. Now, obviously, I've been a good little boy since getting out of hospital. Keeping an eye on what I'm eating, all of that boring crap, because it is boring, I've got to be honest. And obviously Christmas you do let yourself go a little bit, with snacks and chockies and all that sort of shit, but nowhere near to the volume that I have been in the past, But there I am. I'm at home, and eventually I get the movement and the ability to walk to the local doctor's surgery for the same treatments that I'm getting per day from these community nurses. So I'm walking with a walking stick, very slowly as well. So at my appointment's at, say, 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm leaving at 25 to. And the doctor's surgery is about 200 yards out of my house and to the left. So I come out of my house, turn left again, and the doctor's surgery is about 150 yards in front of me. So as the times go by, I get a bit stronger, and luckily there's a lift for less mobile people, so I'm using that to go upstairs in this surgery. So eventually I get back to work, and thankfully my manager, who was really fucking brilliant about all of it, he says, right, we'll give you a phased return, you can come back and do some admin for me because I need some admin doing. So I'm using my laptop at work, typing up all sorts of stuff, printing it off, and obviously by this time I could climb stairs and bits and bobs, and I get back out on the floor, doing all sorts of that. So basically I'm back to normal. One thing that isn't back to normal is my fucking bank account. Now, my bank account per se is normal, but what my dad had to do to pay for all the bills and, petrol and all that sort of shit is use my credit card that I got last December. That credit card as it stands right now is almost maxed out because of the mere fact I was out for 7 months, having no financial help from my workplace or work organisation, and not earning enough money to support what we usually do. Now, the thing I'm moaning about is the lack of financial support from the company I work from and the government as a whole. I went back to work probably too early, and that may surprise some people that I work with that are watching this to this point. Again, I know it's a long video and I apologise for that, but I have to get what I've been through in 2019 across, and the difficulties that I still have and will have in 2020 because of my injury / near death. Now, the point I'm trying to make is the simple fact of there should be more help from the government / benefit people. I was given a leaflet shortly before my statutory sick pay assistance ran out. This runs out. That's the first fucking thing, okay? This runs out. And it runs out after 6 months 28 weeks of getting it. Okay, I got a leaflet through from Department for Work and Pensions, DWP, suggesting that I apply for universal credit. Now, the thing about universal credit, even to this day, it's the new version of benefits that unemployed people can apply for. Now, the thing about universal credit is that because of the backlog of changing over from whatever benefits that you were on to the universal credit style of things, is that there is a backlog and a wait of 5 weeks. 5 fucking weeks. And you see stories on Facebook or social media in the news about how single parents of, say, 2 or 3 kids, their wives left them, or their wives died, or their husbands died, or whatever's happened, okay? And they've applied for this universal credit, and in the 5 weeks that it takes them to pull their fucking finger out and go through the admin shit, these people are committing suicide because they haven't got any money whatsoever. And here's the government or whatever suggesting that I apply for a benefit and apply for some money that I could be due still to this day, as I talk to you now on the 1st of January 2020, filming this. 5 weeks for that money to come through. By that time, you're bankrupt. You have no fucking money whatsoever. You can't buy any food. You can't pay any bills. And I'm like, what the fuck? By that time, I was more or less ready to go back to work anyway. So I have a word with my manager. And he's like, well, you can come back when you're ready. We won't push you. You know, we can't push you. But luckily, I was more or less all right. So I went back to work. Now, again, probably better than my judgment. At the time, I was bleeding more often than not. The worst thing about all of this is the so-called pressure about money. It's all fucking money. And technically, I shouldn't have gone back for another 2 months, probably. But money makes the world go round. It rules our fucking lives. And it shouldn't do. As it is, I've got close to a maxed out credit card because I've had no financial help. I've had £400 a fucking month. That's it. How can you survive on £400 a month? If my dad wasn't around, I'd be homeless. If my dad wasn't around, I'd be in the shit. Thank fuck for me dad, because all I've got is a huge credit card debt of a nearly maxed out card because I couldn't work. How in the name of all that is fucking fair? How is it fair that I've had to rely on a fucking credit card to get me through this fucking process? And if I didn't have that credit card, my dad would have got another loan to pay off what spiralling monies that would have fucking occurred now. If I didn't have that credit card, my theoretical life would be over now. Fortunately, it isn't. But something needs to be done in the grand scheme of things to help people that have major, and I mean major fucking injuries like I did. Okay? I was split open to save my life. I bleed, or have bled up until a couple of weeks ago, 2 to 3 times a week from this gaping wound, or from the granulation of this wound that's healed. I have a hospital appointment on the 3rd of February to see how things are going. I strongly predict that I need a minimum of 2 operations. One that I was due last year before all this crap started, and another one to reattach my left testicle. I could be in more need of more time off are being unable to work. I am fucked already for 2020. All because you don't get financial help from governments or the company you work for or whatever. And I don't care what trouble I get into releasing this video. I need to get this point across that you need help when you have a debilitating injury. I almost fucking died, for Christ's sake. And yet I'm the one being punished for nearly dying. How is that fair? How is that right? I've not done much swearing in this one. This is a half moaning show, half information giving, half plea to the governments of the world, to, companies across the world that have people that are good, decent workers or nice, decent workers, and the people that need the support, your employees that need the support, and you're not paying sick pay? What the fuck? How are you not paying sick pay? It's not as if I'm faking what has happened to me in the last 12 months. I have had a shit 2019, and it's all because of fucking money. I almost fucking died. Let me say that again. I almost died. And I'm the one that has to fucking work through it. I'm the one that has to worry about money. I'm the one that can't fucking do anything with my life because I'm worried about money. 2020 is my so-called rebuilding year. It's the year where I want to go out and do things, like go to a few music and comedy gigs. Am I going to be able to? Fuck no. I'm going to be stuck in this fucking bedroom for the rest of my life, way things are going. All because of fucking money. But anyway, I thank you very much indeed for watching this edition of the Moaning Show. I apologise for its length, but again, I have to get my point across with regards to how crap my 2019 has been, because I'm only just beginning to turn that theoretical corner. Anyway, it's the 1st of January, so happy fucking New Year from me, from the Moaning Show, and obviously from my dad as well, and more happier, shorter content will be coming soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.